of the layout here with the actual elements. But in the meantime, let's waste no time and get started on our late medieval murder mystery mayhem. There's actually not, I don't think, as far as I know, that much mayhem. But look at this little fool. Stream jester privilege. I will, anything says I will. All right, here we go. New game. I will do our third bit here. I am definitely going to use the stylized fonts. I'll be reading things out loud, but this game does amazing things with its typefaces. So I'm going to use these stylized fonts. Here we go. Oh, I'm excited. Interesting. Here we have a page of Latin with some illuminations. And I'm going to, as soon as I move my little jester here, be using a little stone. That is following my cursor. Let me move my boy over. Probably not the last time he moves. All right, here we go. Got this little stone here, and if I click, I lower it to the page, and I begin to erase. The tactility of this is honestly really fun and cool. I feel bad about getting rid of all of this beautiful art, but alas. Here we go. Alright, so far my big hat is out of the way. Ah, it's so beautiful. In case you aren't aware, this is Obsidian Entertainment. The same studio, and indeed one of the same lead devs responsible for games like Fallout New Vegas and Neverwinter Nights 2. Josh Sawyer is the narrative director, is the one I was referring to. Here we go. Tossing Bavaria, Holy Roman Empire, April 1518. An artist sleeps. Let's hope my little dude isn't too in the way here. An artist's mind. And here we are. Andreas. And the abbot said to me, Andreas... And we can go with, I don't want you distracting the sisters in the library. I need you to finish this commission by the end of April. Or, keep your conversations with Brother Piero to a minimum. We can click on underlined words to access the glossary. Which brings this up and shows us Brother Piero. That's his little portrait there. And then we can go right back into the scene and decide what exactly it is that the abbot said to Andreas, which does sound a little bit like the setup to a joke. Let's have ourselves remember primarily the pressure of needing to finish by the end of April. Isn't that much earlier than you were expecting? Yes, he had told me I had until the Ides of May. St. Grobian. That was Beatrice, or Beatrice, if you wanted to be very specific about the Italian pronunciation at the time. The St. Grobian here says, Asshole, and he's not going to pay you anymore, is he? He has no appreciation for the cost of your sweat. Socrates says, The yield of labor should not be measured in coin, but in personal satisfaction and self-improvement. Personal satisfaction doesn't put much food on the table, though, does it? Prester John. How did you repay the abbot, Andreas? Reply to the abbot, Andreas. We can say, I said I would do my best to get it done by the end of April. I told him it would be done when it was done, sometime before the Ides of May, or I shrugged and kept on working. I feel like we're going to go with, I told him it would be done when it was done, sometime before the Ides of May. St. Grobian. That's what I'd like to hear. What's he going to do? Find someone else to finish your work before May? It's true. Making enemies with the abbot may not be wise, but he needs your work. From Beatrice. Socrates says, and the doing of work is its own virtue, regardless of what the abbot may think. Prester John. Despite the abbot's ire, you must endure. Soon you will have finished both the abbot's work as well as your masterpiece. And then you will return to Nuremberg, where marriage and your life, a new life as a master, await you. You can click on Nuremberg. Free imperial city of the Holy Roman Empire, major trade center, and city of arts, including printing. Beatrice. Yes, marriage to someone he has never met. Hardly ideal. Socrates. Well, the alternative is becoming a philosopher. This is the part where I will pause and talk about this system that took a huge amount of the development resources, as I understand it, to animate the writing and filling in of all of the text. I won't get too into the woods now, but it has some incredible little touches that I think are among the coolest things that you could have done with a game like this. Including, for instance, leaving the name of Jesus unfilled in until all the black has been filled in, and then filling it in with red after the fact is one of those fun little touches that we'll see a fair bit more of. So St. Grobian says, oh, Jesus, then you should definitely get married. Is she pretty at least? Andreas, we can respond, that's what my brother said in his letter, but maybe he's just trying to lift my spirits. The small portrait they sent with love was lovely, but we artists can be flatterers. Or who knows, that's not why I'm doing it anyway. Which I think is going to be our answer. Prester John, it's growing late. The wheel of time stops for no man, Andreas. I fear you must leave us. Ah, true, your majesty. Will you visit us again soon? Let's see. Hopefully, but it's out of my control, your majesty. As are many things. Trust in Providence. Grobian, please see Andreas home safely home. Of course, your majesty. Until next time, Andreas. Until next time, your majesty. And I'm just going to leave us here to enjoy this while I get caught up on chat for just a moment. Because there's been some conversation going on over there. It is indeed lovely work on my little jester man. He does indeed jingle. He thinks those erases things by throwing rocks at them. Oh no. Twitch ate a heart meant for anything so's. How rude. And yes, Den bemoaning virtue ethics here is seeing where at least some of this game is going to be going with its subject matter. I concur. The little dragon scales on top are very cute. This little pair over here and Grobian have the inspiration for my hat. This is my favorite guy. This little guy down here, doing kind of like a little Kilroy but with tongue. Yeah. Anyway, St. Grobian says, "Pay no mind to the other fools, Andreas." I never do. Ow! At least I would if they'd stop stepping on my feet. Watch where you're going. They're fools, Andreas. No point trying to teach them anything. I know old John wants you to endure the abbot shit, but since I take you home, I get the last word. Don't let him run you ragged, boy. Let's see. Let's go with... He's just trying to keep order in the abbey. I'm an outsider. Right. An outsider he brought in. If he wants your work, he has to deal with you as you are. We keep getting stepped on. Gah! The ink splots, the ink splatter. I love it. Would you please I give up. Take me home, Grobian. As you wish, Andreas. Good morning, Ursula. Go under. Time to get up. And here we are. Chapter 1. The Baron. April 1518. So, a few more pages back to the Abbey. We can pull up our little journal here. A few more pages. Prime, hour 6. Another day, another few pages for the abbot, and hopefully a few for myself. I need to get across town and head up to the abbey so I can start work at the scriptorium. We've also got our map here, which shows us where we are, the Gertner farm, and the town of Tossing, Outer Tossing, with all of its points of interest. Kirsau Abbey, Kirsau, I guess, if I wanted to be a little bit more precise, though don't count on my pronunciations generally. I'm sure that Grobian is not actually the correct pronunciation. Anything says asks, are these real locations? I believe they are based on real locations, but I would have to look it up to be sure how precisely. Europe is fiction, says Dan. It's okay. Almost. In certain ways. And then, of course, we have our map of Europe showing where we are. Tossing zoomed in, Tossing zoomed out, and its relationship to other places in Europe. We can look at our list of people here. We have Brother Piero, artist of Kirsau Abbey, known for his kindness and helpful nature. Brother Piero is also respected as a master painter specializing in works of extraordinary color. And Ursula Gertnerin, daughter of Peter and Clara, half-sister of Eva and Big Jorg, are only people so far. So, yes, there is no country of Italy. There is a region, a peninsula of Italy. But we have the Papal States, the Kingdom of Sicily. I think by 1518 we've got some kingdoms starting to take shape in the upper reaches just south of the Alps, but otherwise mostly free trading cities. Venice has a reasonably sizable territory. There's probably going to be a reasonable amount of this herring off into historical stuff with me playing this game. It's not all going to be precise. I don't guarantee it all to be extremely accurate. My specialties are almost entirely in 14th century England, but I know a little bit about a number of other things, and I will try to contribute where I can. Our little ex libris here is sort of our character sheet, such as it is. There's not much on it yet. But we can see our name here, Andreas Mahler, from Nuremberg. And we have a glossary, too, that we can consult as it updates. So far, we just have Nuremberg in it, but those are our underlined terms. So we'll be seeing this. Den says, Venice is where they wrote down double entry accounting first. Thus, I know small amounts about 15th century, not yet Italy. Oh. Well, I look forward to at least some contributions as they come up. Thank you for. I did not know that Venice was the origin of double entry accounting. I would have said it was Amsterdam if asked. I think probably because of an accounting class I had in college that was not super interested in the history. That's all you have. Well, it was useful. It corrected a misunderstanding on my part. All right. So we can move back and forth in the scene and watch Andreas walk toe to heel. And we can click to interact with things, which I will be doing. Anything So's asks, what's double entry accounting? Den, I think I'll let you have this one. I really should clean this up. The Picatrix, Key of Solomon, the Heptameron, Prior Ferenc keeps giving me all these books to read. So this is what Prior Ferenc looks like. We're not going to go to bed, we just got up. That's all of our little pages we just looked at. So let's head down to the rest of the Gertner house. Page transitions. Love them. Den says, if you look at your bank account online, that's single entry accounting. It has one line for each transaction. They can do that because the other side of each transaction is cash, your money in the bank. I suppose I will wait until the entire explanation is up before continuing there. In the meantime, let's greet Ursula. I love her. She's very cute. And Clara. Good morning, Andreas. Did you sleep well? Okay, I don't know if you caught that, but there is a thing it'll do occasionally where there will be mistakes that it will scrub and then fill in. I love this truly inordinately. And I will probably point it out the next half dozen times I spot it. So, we can answer quite well, actually, thank you. Ordinary or not well, but there's nothing to be done. I'll say quite well, actually, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Anyway, I know you'll be off to the Abbey, so I packed you some food. I don't know if anybody else is catching this too, but it does little bits of text in between dips of a quill pen. It's writing until the ink runs a little dry, and then dipping again, and then writing until it runs a little dry. The attention to detail here is, frankly, staggering. Anyway, I know you'll be off to the Abbey, so I packed you some food. Almonds, cheese, and some of the rye you like from the Albans. Little misspelling there, corrected. Otto wanted me to ask you to join him for dinner at the Abbey. And Otto here. You can see his picture. Ava. Otto stopped by. Yes, around dawn. There's our lunch. Here you are, Andreas. That's too kind of you, Clara. Many thanks. Master Andreas, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, could we... Would it be too much trouble if you paid next month's rent today? And if we raised it by 2 groschen? Groschen, a type of thick silver coin minted throughout the Holy Roman Empire. Groschen are typically worth 12 pfennigs, but may be minted at different values. I hate to ask, but we're behind on our taxes to the Abbey. 2 months behind. Turned a D into a B there. Peter's losing his hair over it. More than usual, I mean. And here's Peter. His dapper little hat. And yes, this frog is giving me life. Alright, so we have a choice to make here about the rent, which I will take a moment to kind catch up on Den's explanation of double entry here. So all in one go. If you look at your bank account online, that's single entry accounting. It has one line for each transaction. They can do that because the other side of each transaction is cash, your money in the bank. But in a business, not all transactions are in cash. Really, for individuals as well, sometimes you promise to pay for something and get it before you pay, or you pay before you get something. So double entry accounting records both sides of every transaction, where the monetary value is going and where it came from. Frequently, more simply, what did you get and how did you get it? These are debits, destination, and credits, source, which are shortened as DR and CR because it was set up by Venetians and an old Italian debit has an R in it. It's most of my first day's lecture to explain double entry accounting fully, so I do apologize if this is more confusing than when it started. And anything so's, in addition to pointing out the frog, contributed credit. Yeah, so thank you, Den. Appreciate that. So over here, we have a choice to make about our response here to being asked for early and increased rent. Anything says frogs also say crebit, which is true. So let's see what we're thinking here. I'm not sure how to respond to this. Rent wasn't due until the beginning of May. So we can listen to our different little, I don't know, kind of psychomachia demons here. We have Beatrice. Be generous, Andreas. You can spare the money and it will ease their burden. Socrates. You must take the consequences of inaction into account. Or Grobian. What is this shit? They don't pay taxes every year? Or don't they pay taxes every year? Why is this falling on you to fix? So I think the way that I have, conceptualized this is that Andreas is sort of getting all of these, kind of conflicting thoughts, and we can kind of choose which one he's heeding currently. I'm going to go with Beatrice here. Be generous. On the other hand, she might think she can keep asking me for advances on rent. Yeah, Andreas does not have an angel and a devil for a conscience. He has 3 philosophers. So let's see. We can say, of course, it's no problem at all. Besides, we wouldn't want Peter to lose any more of his precious hair. Say, I suppose that's not out of the question. Yes, I think I can manage that. Or, I can't promise anything. I'll see what I can do. Or, well, wait, were these taxes unexpected? The Hollyhock God does have an angel and a devil. Right now, it's anything so's in Tinwell. That is more or less precisely correct. Let's be a little flustered here, but go with it. So, yes, I suppose it's not out of the question. Yes, I think I can manage that. We're so grateful, truly, Andreas. I apologize again for asking. It's just awful to be stuck in such a position. Our taxes get harder to pay every year. Peter works hard, but it just never seems like it's enough. St. Luke bless you for helping us out. St. Luke, Christian evangelist and patron saint of artists and physicians, often represented by a winged bull. Speaking of St. Luke, how is your masterpiece coming along? It's been 2 months now, hasn't it? Slowly, I'm afraid. Most of my days are spent doing work for the Abbey. It's only during the Divine Office that Prior Ferenc allows me to work on my masterpiece. Prior Ferenc here in the Divine Office, the prayer times observed by all Christian monastic orders, monks and nuns pray together 7 times a day and once at night, as dictated by the rule of St. Benedict. A reasonable restriction, but it's slow going. The city council doesn't require to become a master. I'm making it mostly to show clients and for my own sake. I agree with anything says that is too much praying. And yes, when I do finish, I will go back to Nuremberg. I will marry and open a workshop of my own. From Nuremberg to a university, and now traveling the world as an artist. What a life you have ahead of you, Master Andreas. Yes, I suppose it does feel like I'm starting a new chapter in my life after a few missteps or some wandering or a little too much fun. This is where we get to start filling in Andreas's backstory a little bit. 10, it's the only time he can write his fic, and she's already commenting, update when. Oh, Lord. Let's say after a few missteps. It must be rather frightening, starting all over again. So that's another thing that I really appreciate here is that the way that it does this instead of voice acting, right, is that just about every other line, Clara has a spelling mistake that needs to be, corrected, whereas, Andreas has comparatively fewer. I don't know that we've seen one from him yet. And so this is a way that it is characterizing the different people in the game. And to be clear, I have played a couple hours of this game. I have not actually gotten very far. So what we're seeing now, I don't remember extraordinarily well, but I have seen, and probably, if not in this stream, then in the next one, we'll get to things that are totally new to me. We will see. So let's see. Andreas, I owe it to my family to make something of my life, or it is, but I know now that this is what I want to do. I like that answer better. This will be remembered. Not many people get to decide that. Certainly not anyone tossing. Hello, Drask. Welcome. Anyway, I don't know anything about art, but I've seen you sketching such beautiful things in your little book. I guess the very, very cool thing of misspelling and correcting does make it a little hard for me to read it. I have to pay very close attention. We'll see how my voices do. I'm not going to be attempting accents too much. We'll see. A new philosopher has entered the chat. Your masterpiece must be wonderful. I think I'm going to go with it's getting there. Hard work will get you all the way. That's what my father used to say, God rest his soul. Now, I have to get back to my own work. Have a good day at the Abbey, Andreas, and we'll see you after Vespers for supper. Vespers, monastic hour at dusk. One of the major prayer hours. It is followed by supper. Not tonight, but thank you. Klaus Drucker invited me over for supper. This is Klaus. Of course. Please say hello to the Druckers for us. Of course. Until later, Clara. There we go. So we've got the Gertner farm. Let's talk to Eva here. Hello, Andreas. Not too much more to say. Clara. Hello, Clara. Can you spare a moment to chat? Oh, of course, Andreas. How can I help? Let's see. You said you were behind on taxes to the Abbey. Exactly how much are you short? Oh, well, about 2 guldens worth. A gulden are gold coins used as currency throughout the Holy Roman Empire. Though different standards exist for the gulden in different regions, it's generally equivalent to the Florentine florin. If you can't pay your rent early, that's all right. I'm sure we can find some way to pay the abbot. Let's see. Happy to contribute whatever I can. No times are hard for you right now, or no, I'll have my payment for you. I was merely curious. Yeah. I see. Peter's too proud of a man to ask for charity when there's still ground to toe. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked you about rent in the first place. You're young and have your own life ahead. Let's see. Yeah, see, we do occasionally get corrections from Andreas. They're just much more infrequent. So, yeah, I'm happy to pay early, Clara. You've been good hosts to me, and I can do without more. I can do without more than your family. God bless you, Andreas. Don't mention this to Peter, all right? He would hate to know I told you about our troubles. He won't know a thing. A thnig. A thing. Thank you, Andreas. Until later, Clara. All right. Let's go outside to the Gertner farm. Here we are. Sheep. Pigs. Chickens. Ill Peter. God bless you, Andreas. Oh, yes, Andreas. This weather's been god awful. This town's gone to shit since my days. I don't think the townsfolk can do much about the weather, or, let's humor him. Were things very different when you were young? As different as beer and piss. Your old abbot didn't bother us much about our customs. He didn't mind if we left a little offering to Perkta to keep the skies clear, the weather fair. Let's see. Perkta, pagan goddess of the Alps associated with animals and spinning wool. She is still invoked by some Christians in Austria, Switzerland, Bavaria, and Swabia. I don't know what to make of this. I'm trying not to get too distracted by the illuminations, but this creature here is really throwing me. Maybe it's supposed to be like an ostrich. Amazing, though. Matthias knew that Christ was in our hearts, even if the White Lady's name was on our lips. So we can respond in quite a few ways. Let's look up St. Moritz here. St. Moritz is the patron saint of tossing. Legend states he was an Egyptian-born commander of a Roman legion who converted to Christianity. They were all martyred for their faith. His hand is a relic in Kyrsos shrine. So let's see. We can remind him that the church banned all observances of pagan gods. We can ask him what sorts of old customs. We can ask about St. Moritz, or we can say, you think that spirits have been fouling the weather since no one follows the old customs anymore. Let's ask about St. Moritz protecting tossing. Yes, and St. Satya too. But who do you think protected it before they came along? St. Satya, one of tossing's patron saints. Satya was a local pagan who converted to Christianity and miraculously aided St. Moritz's soldiers with food in the dead of winter. She was martyred for her actions. The saints weren't the first to watch over Tassing. My father knew that. Old Rannick Kemper knew that. Rannick Kemper, the late husband of Attilia. That bastard abbot may not like it, but some of us keep the traditions alive. So let's see. We can ask about the traditions themselves. We can mention Attilia, or we can say that we won't mention it at the Abbey. Let's ask about the traditions. When you get up in the night to take a piss, go around the right side of the house and never go back the same way. That way the witches don't steal your soul. Oh, how interesting. I should go. All right, God bless you. catch up on the chat here. Drask pointed out climate change as the weather there. Let's see. Den. I've realized why you thought double entry accounting was from Amsterdam. 17th century Holland did have a big accounting thing. One of the first uses of the futures market for tulips affected by mosaic virus giving a sought appearance, which had an extreme bubble that suddenly burst called tulip mania. Yeah, I remember tulip mania. My professor who made the claim about the origins of double entry accounting in Holland didn't mention tulip mania, but that does make sense. That those things would coincide. Yeah, anything sows points out apparently almost all the flower trade still comes from the Dutch too. Yeah, which we learned from a flower shop friend just a little while back. All right, Andreas, let's talk to Peter rather than ill Peter. Andreas, he does not have much to say. That is fine. And then over here, don't guess we can talk to... here we go, Big Jorg. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Big Jorg. How's it going? You working today? Just taking a rest for a bit. Dad's still in the field. He hit a big rock with a plow, and it took me Lord knows how long to pull it out. You off to the Abbey? Every day but Sunday. Right. Thank God for Sundays. Smells like a storm's coming, no? Just smells like fresh alpine air to me. You've been traveling too much. Where was it you spent your Wanderjahre before you came to Tassing? This would be the wandering years, during which a journeyman artist or craftsman travels far and wide to improve their skills. Also, I love this chameleon, but look at this cat with a cannon strapped to its back. just appreciate that for a moment. We are in the Southern Holy Roman Empire in modern-day Austria in 1518 in April, to answer Drask's question. The town of Tassing. In fact, once we're out of this conversation, I can show you the map since you weren't here when we looked at it before. So this is where we get to do a little bit of character creation in our conversation with Big Jorg. We can pick a background that will affect our character's choices going forward. Press and hold to confirm your choice. So, we can have gone to Basel. Andreas knows some Italian and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Basel and nearby Bern, Zurich, and Freiburg. We could have spent the time in the Low Countries, speaking of Holland. Andreas knows some Dutch and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Antwerp, Bruges, and Ghent. Or Italy. Andreas knows Italian, a little Greek, and can reference cultural touchstones from Florence, Venice, and Milan. Let's go with Italy. I like knowing a little Greek. That would be pretty uncommon in this part of Europe at this stage, I think. So I like that idea. Italy. Florence for a while, but Venice and Milan as well. And now we can look at all these cities. Milan, one of the largest cities in Europe. Milan was once a major city-state in the Italian peninsula before becoming part of the Spanish Habsburg Empire. It is a cultural and economic and cultural power due to its position along central trade routes. Florence is home to the powerful Medici family who ruled the city for centuries. Florence is known for its artistic patronage, hosting artists and thinkers including Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Botticelli, and Machiavelli. And Venice, one of the most powerful republics on the Italian peninsula, sitting on the northwest coast of the Adriatic Sea. Venice is a major center for commerce and art in southern Europe. Italy. No wonder your senses are dull. You've been down there too long. Spend enough time in these mountains, and you'll be able to smell a storm coming. How long will that take? 10, 15 years? I don't think I have that long, Big Yorg. I love our facial expression here. What did you spend all that time in Italy doing, anyway? Other than art, I mean. So we can pick a background for hedonist. Andreas seeks out pleasure wherever he goes. He's extremely social and quite experienced in all the enjoyable vices of the world. Craftsman. Andreas lives to work and dedicates all his time to his art. Bookworm. Andreas spends all of his non-working free time finding and reading as many books as he possibly can. Rapscallion. Andreas has a penchant for getting involved in petty schemes, pranks, minor crimes, and fistfights. Or businessman. Andreas devotes much of his time to self-promotion, optimizing business expenses, making investments, and balancing his books. I have to go with Bookworm here. I'm not able to play him any other way. Reading, mostly, and talking about books. I couldn't get enough of it. Venice is filled with incredible printers. Florence continues to illuminate beautiful manuscripts. And the books they produce are treasures, every one. I didn't realize that books meant that much to you. I've seen Father Thomas's Bible, Father Thomas, there he is. I've seen Father Thomas's Bible and a few other books. I haven't had much use for reading, though. Anyway, you have to get going. Jorg, let's go. Dad's already acting like I'm not like I'm taking too long, even though I did all the work to get that rock out. See you later, Andreas. Until later. All right. Let's head into the town commons. Woohoo! Scene transitions. Andreas and Forge. Andreas Schmidt's smithy. That's hard for me to say. It's so much smaller than the one he uses at the Abbey. And let's talk to Andreas. Oh, Andreas, good timing. Do you have a moment to lend me a hand? I'm already late to the Abbey. I swear it won't be long. All right, then. Wonderful. I've got too many irons in the fire. Or rather, shoes. Horseshoes. I miscounted how many I put in. Now I need a hand, else they'll overheat and I won't be able to work the metal. Here, take the shoe and the tongs. Put the hot part of the shoe on the anvil and I'll hit it with the hammer. So we just gotta rotate and then hammer, hammer, hammer. And then rotate, hammer, hammer, hammer. Couple more of these guys. Good, good. Next one. Well done. See? Short work. Thanks for the help, Andreas. I don't know what I was thinking doing all of those at once. Sure would be nice to have someone to help me out here every day. Let's see. Have you considered an apprentice? I have. None of the boys in the village seem interested. Keep at them. I bet you could get Bert Drucker. There's little Bert. Children, nature's apprentices. Klaus would have my head if I tried. Klaus, actually. Anyway, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I'll see you and Otto up by the Abbey guest house for dinner. Until then. Alright, I had promised a map here. So here we are. This is the map of Tossing. This is the town that we're in. Currently in the town commons by the blacksmith. This gives us a view of Outer Tossing. The Gertner farm is where we started off and then came up this way. Sheep were blocking off this route. And we can zoom out a little bit. Or rather, here's the Abbey. But this is Europe with Tossing here. And then we can see a little bit more zoomed in of a view here. It's sort of halfway between Venice and Nuremberg. So yeah, that's where we are, and we are in April 1518. Our character sheet here has been updated to reflect our backgrounds of having studied in Italy and being a bookworm. And we've got our people updated to reflect quite a few more than we had before. So we were just talking about Bertolt Drucker, son of Klaus and Marie Drucker. We always talked to Big Jörg Gertner, the son of Peter Gertner and his late wife Christine, called Big because he's the biggest man in town. We've got Clara Gertner, second wife of Peter Gertner, mother of Ursula, known for her kindness and concern for her husband's health. Klaus Drucker is the town printer, husband to his wife Marie and father to Bertolt. Although Tassing is an unusual place for a printing press, he does brisk trade with pilgrims and other travelers on the Imperial Road. We've also just met Andreas, the Tassing town blacksmith. Andreas works near the town center most days. We had talked this morning briefly to Eva Gertner, daughter of Peter Gertner and his late wife Christine. Eva was largely raised by her brother and father. We talked to Ill Peter about the weather. This is the elderly father of Peter Gertner. Ill Peter is perpetually on death's door, but continues to work the field in spite of it. He is the oldest man in town. We haven't met Prior Ferenc yet. He's from Pesh. Originally from Hungary, Ferenc is the prior of Curacao Abbey and is responsible for running the scriptorium, known for his interest in esoteric books. And then we've also got here some more distantly mentioned people. First off, Peter Gertner, husband of Clara, father of Big Jörg, Eva, and Ursula, known for his temper and his dislike of the Abbey and Leonhard Müller. Otto Zimmermann, town carpenter and son of Old Otto, known for his dislike of the Abbey, especially father that looks like Gernot. Niklaus Aberle, a Swabian servant of Lorenz Rothvogel, and Lorenz Rothvogel is Baron of Rothvogel, from near Worms, patron of Curacao Abbey, lover of books and art. And then we've got, we've read Piero Verona already. Ursula Gertner, daughter of Peter and Clara, half-sister of Eva and Big Jörg, and Father Thomas Sprecher, town priest for Tassing, tends to his flock at Our Lady of the Labyrinth, which is a pretty metal name for a church. I think that pretty much does it. Okay. Let us... Oh, more sheep blocking the way that way. More sheep blocking the way this way, in fact. Okay. Scene. Martin, please, can you give me a hand here? What do you want? I'm keeping an eye on them. That looks a lot like standing there and doing nothing. Martin, for Christ's sake, help your cousin. Morning, Andreas. Excuse us. One of the fence rails fell and the sheep started hopping it. Let's see. Should I offer to help? Aristotle says, perhaps. Helping others also helps us. It allows us to feel useful and take satisfaction in our work. And Grobian says, that idiot Martin should be helping them. Yell at him. Give him a good scare. I am going to be very late for work at the Abbey. This particular... ram is like glaring at me directly out of the page. I'm glad it's left. Although here's another one. Let's go with Aristotle. I feel like Grobian is going to be, not that helpful in most cases. Then again, I don't know anything about sheep, and I'd probably just get in their way. Let's see. Well, ask if there's something we can do to help. Seems polite. Have you ever handled sheep before? Good point. Oh, look, there's something going on up at the Steinauer's place. Who's that on the horse? Looks rich. I don't know, Martin, but Lucky is giving him an earful. Christ, I haven't seen Lucky that worked up since Peter and Clara's wedding when Johann pulled his pants down. I get the feeling that Martin is much more thinking about theft than seduction. But I guess I could be wrong. We'll see. So these are the portraits of the folks mentioned there. Johann being the addition to our glossary. Knocked two of my man's teeth out. You don't want to feel the strength behind a stonemason's anger. Do you think he's a noble? He looks really rich. God damn it, Martin. Stay out of trouble for once. What, Aunt Hetty? Behave yourself. Don't we have enough to deal with right now? I mean, Den, you are correct. Seduction is more likely to go the way he wants it to, but, you know, if Martin's characterization here is not strong enough already, he's just kind of an asshole. Andreas, if you wouldn't mind moving your skinny little body up the road, we need to get these sheep under control. Of course. See you later. Let's see. Yeah, which is why the seduction is not going to work, because he's kind of an asshole. I don't want to interact with Martin at all. I'm just going to say good luck. All right. Let's see if we can find a way around some sheep here. All right. You did it. No going that way. Church and Druckers. Here we are. Drucker house is locked, but we can... In fact, we have to talk to Klaus. So, if we don't remember, Klaus is the town printer, I believe. So, his greeting got type-plated upside down, yeah. So, here he is, you know. Morning, Andreas. How's it going? Morning, Klaus. Another day at the Abbey, another few hours to work on my masterpiece. Good to hear. You still coming by for supper tonight? Marie and Bert would love to see you. So there's Marie. Yeah, I just genuinely love watching the dialogue in this game go. It's honestly a little bit hard to pay attention to what it says until it's done moving sometimes, because I'm just like really enamored of the way they decided to do this. You really need to see these new woodcuts I have for an Italian edition of Till Eulenspiegel. The titular character of a popular 15th century book, Till is a prankster, continually exposing the vices and hypocrisy of others. He's also quite skilled at tricking people into smelling, touching, or eating his excrement. Very 15th century. I didn't realize Father Thomas let you print books in Italian. Come on, Andreas, he's not that strict. I know he's just trying to protect people from... We can fill in heresy, witch mania, adventure stories of questionable moral repute, or your sloppy typesetting. I won't be mean to him about his typesetting. That seems rude. I mean, I guess it sounds like adventure stories of questionable moral repute are the kind of main thing at issue here. He doesn't mind those so much, actually. No? As long as I don't get too carnal. Ooh. So, supping right after Vespers? Of course. Thank you. He likes Choose Your Own Adventure books, seems like. Great. I'll tell Marie and Bert you're coming. See you then. See you later. All right. And then here is Father Thomas. Remember, violence is fine as long as it's not sexy violence. Mostly correct, Drask. Mostly correct. A lot of fun reading the relatively early versions of Robin Hood stories where he's like mostly just killing monks. I mean, that's only one story, but here we go. How do I want to voice this guy? Priest. God bless, Master Mahler. I hope your week is going well. Let's see. We are obviously not in too much of a hurry at this point, so thank you, Father. It's going quite well. I'm just on my way up the hill to get to work. Good. Andreas, I don't recall seeing you at Sunday morning mass. See, and so he's got cursive, like a different cursive than the peasants do. I really like the dialogue and writing system here. You understand how important it is for your salvation that you receive Holy Communion, don't you? Let's see. Our thoughts here. I just stayed up too late on Saturday. I don't want to get into an argument with him about this. So we could go with Beatrice. Would going to church on Sunday be such a burden? If not for his sake, consider it for your own. Or Socrates. A man has many duties. Father Thomas should appreciate how hard you work to help the abbey. Or St. Grobian. This asshole can't make you go to mass. To hell with him. Let's go with Aristotle here. Almost everyone in town works hard, though. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, let's just avoid the argument, right? I won't feel bad about breaking a promise to a priest personally. I can't speak for Andreas, but I won't. So, yes, I apologize, Father Thomas. I promise you I'll make it this Sunday. You don't have to make a promise to me, but our salvation is contingent on the... Oh my! What a blessed day to receive such an illustrious visitor. Master Mahler, this is Lorenz, Master of Baron of Rothvogel. A great lord from the countryside near Worms. A prosperous imperial free city in the western part of the empire, located on the Rhine River, Worms has been the site of many imperial diets. Send a message to Germany suggesting a few theses. And Lorenz. Let's see. Good to see you, Father Thomas. It is nice to be remembered fondly. I only wish all of your neighbors were as welcoming. Well, yes. What brings you to our little town? My wife and I were returning from a trip to Venice. We spent a few days in Innsbruck, and it was terribly dull. Innsbruck is the capital of the Austrian county of Tyrol and a major stop on the Imperial Road connecting Italy and Bavaria. It is the closest major city to Kiersau Abbey and Tassing. Notably, it was the site of witch trials in 1485, which would be within living memory at this point. Only 33 years passed. Also, while I have never been to Innsbruck, one of my very best friends studied abroad there. seems quite nice. So, Lorenz found Innsbruck terribly dull. I mean, it has a certain charm common to these alpine cities, but the place was crawling with nobles for the emperor's diet. An imperial diet is an assembly of the 3 colleges of the imperial estates of the Holy Roman Empire, the prince-electors, the princes and dukes, and representatives of imperial cities. They meet to deliberate on matters of importance to the empire. The emperor? Was he there? Did you see him? Oh, briefly, but he was sitting for a portrait at the time. Quite lovely. I didn't want to bother him or the painter. Let's see. Who is the artist, my lord? Why was the diet assembled, my lord? Or how is Venice, my lord? I lived there only a few years ago. I'm probably mostly going to choose the things that allow me to make use of my background. And I doubt he knows who the artist is anyway. So yeah, how was Venice, my lord? I lived there only a few years ago. Oh, fascinating. Well, the city's Jews now live in their own quarter in the north. The city's artists are still producing wonderful work. Titian, in particular, is a god. No offense, father. Of course. He would like Titian. I am enjoying the both shoulder angel devil conscience function and the commentary function of chat today. Y'all are a lot of fun, and I'm glad you're here to play this with me. So anyway, says Lorenz. Anyway, my wife wanted to stay a bit longer in Innsbruck, and I decided to ride ahead and make a visit to Curacao. I heard Father Matthias died shortly after my last visit, of course. He was the abbot of Curacao before Father Gernot, widely respected by the monks and nuns, as well as the people of Tossing, known for his kindness and his love of books. A great loss for the abbey and for us all. Indeed. By good fortune, I recently came across a copy of the Historia Tassiae he was reading during my last visit. An account of the early history of Tossing. Curaçao's previous abbot, Father Matthias, had a copy. Baron Rothvogel brought another to the abbey as a gift. Dress Grace, this was a question that came up earlier, and I would have to look it up to be certain. But I mean, this is historical fiction. It is based on real places, but people and precise details have been kludged, created, bent, invented, combined. To sort of give it the details the story and the storytellers wanted. But maybe before the next time I stream, I'll try to look up and see. I know that the director and narrative designer Josh Sawyer did kind of a lot of speaking and writing about that process. And yeah, Lorenz here very casually just... Yeah, wild. They had this lovely idea called a ghetto. Ugh. So anyway, we established this book, the Historia Tassiae. Father Matthias was hoping to find a second copy to corroborate the contents of the first. It contains some fascinating details about the history of this place. I'm afraid they might even cause a bit of a scandal. The expression on his attendant here is telling a lot of the story. Ah, yes. Father Thomas trying desperately to be deferential and polite. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that technically this would be in present-day Austria, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that they took individual details from real places to make this, kind of invented one more than trying to base it off of an actual town. But yeah, thank you, Den, for doing the result there, the research there rather. So Lawrence, but I must be off. There will be time enough to discuss Tossing's past later. I commissioned a manuscript from the Abbey through Father Gernot, and I have come to check on its progress. There he is, Father Gernot. I'm giving him a French pronunciation to his name, just out of presumption here. Den, do not apologize for looking things up. Having somebody volunteer for the fact-checking booth is honestly quite good. I am appreciative. Oh, my lord, if you've come to see your manuscript, you should speak with young Master Mahler here. Let's aver here. Not quite a true master yet. I still have to marry and be approved by our city council. Andreas is a journeyman artist from Nuremberg. The next few months, he's also helping in the Abbey's scriptorium. Scriptorium, a room for writing, illustrating, and illuminating manuscripts. Though typically associated with monasteries, they have disappeared from almost all abbeys by the 16th century. A Nuremberger artist working in an abbey scriptorium in 1518. Oh, we should talk, Andreas. I must know the story. Let's see. Of course, my lord, it would be an honor. Well, I'm already late to the abbey, but I suppose it's all right. And surely my lord would find little entertainment or companionship in me. I mean, let's be mannerly here, I suppose. Best to be cautious with nobles. So, of course, my lord, it would be an honor. Wonderful. It's so rare to find someone in the countryside who knows anything about art. Thank you for the introduction, Father Thomas. Come to supper at the abbey tonight. I'm inviting you to the abbot's table. Did the abbot invite me? Oh, don't worry about it, Father. Just show up after Vespers. What is he going to do? Refuse us? Excellent. We'll see you then. Then finding that several Germans and Austrians say that it's obviously not a real place, but almost like stepping back in time to the medieval version of the small villages they are from or frequently visited. I love that. Yeah, I haven't been to rural Central Europe myself. Niklas, I'm dismounting. Run ahead of us and take the horses to the Abbey's guest house. I'd like to take my time talking with Master Mahler. I'll meet you there. At once, my lord. I'm going to make Miklos not very enthusiastic here. So then, a journeyman from Nuremberg. Forgive me for saying so, but you seem a little old not yet to be a master. You said you were unmarried? No, I'm not married, but in truth I came to my vocation later than my father and brothers. I was in university for a number of years, at Erfurt. Erfurt is one of the most populous cities in the Empire and is located near its heart. It has been home to a respected university since 1379 and is a center for humanist thought. Glad you liked my servant voice, Strask. Erfurt, wonderful. The same university as Martin Luther. Have you read his works? Tremendous mind. Martin Luther, for the unaware, priest and professor of theology at the University of Wittenberg, controversial for his opinions on the Church's sale of indulgences to forgive sin, which were recently published and distributed throughout the empire. He says things about the Church that should have been said years ago. Might get him into trouble, but he's a brave, brilliant man. Wait, you may even have met him, did you? You must tell me. No, he was a few years ahead of me. His ideas do seem fascinating, though. We're bookish, they would. I agree wholeheartedly. I simply must meet him if I get the chance. we're only pen pals. I wonder if the good brothers of the Abbey have heard of him. Perhaps they have even read his list of 95 theses against the Church. A list of propositions against the Church's practice of selling indulgences for the remission of sin. It was written in 1518 by Martin Luther, so that would be the previous year from the one that this is taking place in. Father Matthias was not above having a lively debate. Hope Father Gernot does not disappoint in that regard. But enough about Luther for now. Tell me about your university studies. Yeah, 10. Hey, Abbott, have you heard about the schism? That's incipient schism at this point, but yes, very much very blithe attitude from this Baron. This is a good screen to pause on. A Pentiment is where the current present work has been drawn or painted or made over some previous erased or obscured one, but you can see the original either in or through or behind the kind of present or more recent one. And you can see on the left here and in the background some Roman ruins here. So sort of thematically. We also, of course, had Ill Peter talking about the old practices kind of coexisting with the new prior to this point. And new in this case is not like brand new. This place has been Christianized for a while, but that's kind of, I guess, the idea is that these layers of persistence. Kind of the theme indicated by the title. So, here we go. Telling the Baron about our university studies. Forgive me, Baron, but did you attend university? You seem very well educated. No, my family is merely wealthy enough to have provided me with all of the books and tutors a child could dream of. I love all knowledge, from Aristotle and Cicero to Ficino and Erasmus, and everyone in between and yet to come. So, we've got some names of ancient and contemporary thinkers and scholars. So Cicero, statesman, scholar, lawyer, and renowned orator of the late Roman Republic. He is revered both for his contributions to Latin literature and his skill at rhetoric. Marsilio Ficino was a 15th century Italian priest and humanist who was one of the leading figures of the Italian Renaissance. He is well known for his translations of the works of Plato into Latin. Aristotle, who we've talked about on Dice Punks before, I believe. Greek philosopher and student of Plato, renowned as a polymath. He wrote on a wide variety of subjects. His work is extensively cited by current scholars, and even more work is attributed to him than he could ever have written. Yeah, as Draskar says, Aristotle, that asshole. Erasmus of Rotterdam, a Dutch priest and philosopher who is preeminent among northern humanists. He is known for his works in Latin and Greek, as well as his calls for reform within the church. I may have misjudged the Baron. It seems he is as well read as any university student. Den thinks his name is pronounced like Chipotle Aristotle. I have a hard time not calling him that now. Lorenz. In truth, I am simply happy to speak with another well-educated man. Now then, did you earn your doctorate? And so, because our perception of his education has changed, we now see his dialogue in a more formal style of writing. So, did we earn our doctorate? No, I didn't. Only a master's degree. I started working toward a doctorate, but didn't finish. Oh, that's a shame. Well, what was your area of study? More background here. Theology. Andreas has a strong understanding of Catholic theology, biblical knowledge, canon law, heresies, and similar subjects. Imperial law. Andreas knows the basics of the fractured systems of laws that govern the various states of the Holy Roman Empire. And medicine. Andreas is familiar with the basics of human biology, medicine, and illness. I mean, this theology certainly seems relevant to the current strand of dialogue. Since, we know going in that this is a murder mystery, imperial law and medicine obviously have some applications here. And it's kind of leaning toward medicine, which Draskoris has seconded in chat, so here goes with medicine. All things medical, studying the latest and greatest texts coming out of Italy. Oh, yes. It's not a murder mystery yet, Draskoris, but it is a murder mystery. In fact, I believe that I have that in the stream title. Yes, the Italians continue to innovate in that area. Extraordinary, really. Fascinating work. Who knows what secrets we may learn about the human body in the decades to come. Ottilia. You. If I had any faith, I would have prayed you'd never show your face here again. Curse you, Lawrence Ruthvogel. Perched as dogs tearing you to pieces would be too kind a fate. These rustic communities display a shocking lack of hospitality, don't you think? On the one hand, I do want to know what that was about. On the other hand... yeah, alright, we're curious. What was that about? Who knows? By the time I finish guessing, the old crone will probably be dead. Oh, what of your early time in university? Every student must study the trivium and quadrivium, yes? The trivium and quadrivium represent the lower and upper divisions of a classic liberal arts education. Latin grammar, logic, and rhetoric form the trivium. Arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy form the quadrivium. Did you have a favorite subject? I'm getting better at reading past the little misspellings that get corrected. So, we can be a Latinist. Andreas has a strong command of Latin grammar and vocabulary. He can also easily recall sententiae antiquae, quoted words of wisdom from the Roman Republic and Empire. And boy, I know I butchered the classical Latin pronunciation there. A logician, Andreas instinctively thinks through the implications of information as he receives it, is adept at spatial analysis, and can easily perform complicated calculations in his head. Orator, Andreas excelled at rhetoric in university. He's a skilled teacher, persuader, and public speaker. An occultist, Andreas knows a soul-endangering amount of theoretical and practical knowledge on alchemy, astrology, theurgy, necromancy, and various magical rites and ceremonies. Or heavens and earth. Andreas knows a great deal about the constellations, heavenly bodies, and their movement. He is also familiar with various plants and animals from study and personal experience. Trask pushing a hard for occultist here, which is tempting, to be sure. I want to throw a fun thing out there that I actually learned from attending academic conferences. The word necromancy is actually a corruption of a French sort of loan suffix compound for black magic. It was necromancy, and then just sort of got conflated with the classical root for death and the dead into necromancy. So it makes sense. Doing weird stuff with dead people would be black magic, and also anyway, I just thought that was an interesting little historical note. I lean toward occultist out of flavor, if not pragmatism. I think almost anything else would probably be more useful in the actual play of the game, but also, who are we if we don't endanger our souls, right? So let's be occultist. Mod is mad at your input, Dana. I'm going to click allow, though. Oh, goodness. Evidently, that has permanently added toleration of the term necrophilia to my stream chat, so I may have to be looking up mod tools if it gets to be a problem in the future. Not that I think it would be a problem because of anybody here now, but, we do get some fun folks in the chat from time to time. So yeah, let's do occultist. I used my access to the university's library to pursue more esoteric interests. Oh? Esoteric how? Mystical texts, books on alchemy, invoking spirits, divination, purely academic, of course. Of course. I started with Ficino's Corpus Hermeticum, and my interest only deepened from there. Anything sows promises to use her future mod powers for evil. So the Corpus Hermeticum, a compilation of 17 religious and philosophical treatises encompassing the soteriology of Hermes Trismegistus, or Thrice Great Hermes. Centuries-old texts reflect Egyptian, Greek, and Jewish traditions and ideas, and were translated into Latin in the late 15th century by Marsilio Ficino and Lodovico Lazzarelli. There we go. Quite interesting, Andreas. I'll make some time to speak with you more on this topic during my stay. We can ask him to be discreet. I feel like we'd be nervous enough about this. Yeah. Please be discreet about it, my lord. Yes, that's why we will talk about it later. Ooh, the emphasis, the green later. And your other studies. Was there anything else you excelled at? Hey, we get to pick a second one here. So, Heavens and Earth, Orator, Logician, Latinist. I like Logician for this. Yeah, let's do Logician. Logic, geometry, and arithmetic. Quite interesting for an artist. Was Aristotle's organon the foundation of your study? Yes, the organon for logic and Euclid's elements for geometry, but the past few centuries have yielded wonderful new texts on logic. Euclid, mathematician of ancient Alexandria. He is recognized as the father of geometry and is most well known for his book of Elements, the foundation of all university education on geometry. Peter Abelard provided the foundation of scholastic philosophy and established the primacy of Aristotle's work. Peter Abelard, a 12th century French teacher, philosopher, and theologian. He is known for his philosophical work in logic and his theological work in atonement theory. He is also remembered for his love affair with his student, the renowned Benedictine nun, abbess, and scholar Eloise d'Argentil. My French on that last name is almost certainly terrible. I have read the letters of Abelard and Eloise. The first half dozen or so are really fascinating. The rest are more sort of fiddly theological and monastic advice, but theirs is a really interesting story. And yeah, they absolutely were real people. a fascinating little glimpse into 12th century sort of high medieval scholasticism and its history, and also a fascinating look into just like how people were still people, way back in the Middle Ages. The sordid details are in brief that one of Eloise's relatives found out about the affair and sent people to break into Abelard's quarters in the night and castrate him, which he would later come to see as like a really excellent development, in that it eventually helped him focus much more on spiritual and intellectual matters, whereas Eloise never did quite see eye to eye with him on it. She, entered the convent basically on Abelard's advice after this whole thing, while it was still kind of unfolding, and became an very prominent and respected abbess, but writes in her letters that she doesn't really have the vocation and the passion for it that she thinks she should have, that if she could, she would go back and try to run away with Abelard, which Abelard in their letters scolds her for, but she doesn't really back down. Eventually they just decide, oh, okay, well, let's move on. We're not getting anywhere with this. And, you can, you, Heloise, can ask me, Abelard, about, matters theological and practical about running a convent. Extremely, educated and sort of renowned woman in her own right in the time there. Yeah, Kitty up here having a bath. Anyway, thank you for going with me on my Abelard and Eloise tangent, because it's really interesting. One of the coolest things that I read during undergrad. The Englishman William of Ockham gave us the Summa Logicae, arguing nominalism against Platonic realism. William of Ockham, 13th and 14th century English Franciscan philosopher and theologian, known for his commentaries on Peter Abelard's 4 books of sentences, his defense of apostolic poverty, and his writings on faith and reason. To be fair, the kitty marginalia was distracting, Dan. No problems with being distracted by something that distracting. And, of course, Thomas Aquinas gave us the tools to employ both faith and reason in the pursuit of truth. An eminently influential philosopher, theologian, and jurist in the tradition of scholasticism. Probably the most familiar name from the scholastic era in the modern day. And, still very actively promoted as, having had kind of like authoritative answers on theological and philosophical matters in certain kinds of religious education. All monks and friars, of course. A great deal of work to force Aristotle to fit within the Church's vision of truth. Is that so wrong? I question that these great men should have had to wrestle logic into what the Church established by fiat force. There's the Abbey. I have good memories of this place, and of Father Matthias. It was sad to hear of his passing. How did you come to know him? How did you come to know of Kiersau at all? My family have been patrons of Kiersau for, I don't know how many generations. Some years ago, I heard that Kiersau still had a wonderful library and artisans. Professional artists have taken over most manuscript productions, so I was shocked to find an active scriptorium here. So we can say, well, there's not much left of it these days. 2 old men, a young scribe, and me. Or this is as good a place as any to create art. Or the artists that remain here are quite talented, if a bit old-fashioned. I like that third one, personally. Well, Kiersau is more than a bit old-fashioned. Some of my friends think I'm mad for commissioning a manuscript from an abbey in this day and age. But, well, my family have been patrons of Curacao for generations. It seems wrong to stop now while there's still talent here. I commissioned a manuscript through Father Garneau a year ago. Thought I would stop by and check on the progress. Wait, are you the artist working on it? It's a prayer book with 20 illustrations. I know the work, but no. I do know the artist well, the venerable Brother Piero. How venerable? He still has his wits and his skills, if that's what concerns you. Brother Piero has an incredible talent with color. And I very much look forward to seeing it. Niklaus, tend to the horses and baggage. I'm heading up to the abbey. Yes, my lord. Well, let's not keep the abbot waiting any longer. Nuns. There's so many ways that you could read that. Nuns. 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 Nuns! I lack the context. Just nuns. Quite unusual for a Benedictine house to have monks and nuns, even if they are separated. Founded in the 6th century, the Benedictines are a Christian monastic order that observes vows of obedience, poverty, chastity, and stability under the rule of St. Benedict of Nursia. The church closed most of them centuries ago. But then, Curacao is a place out of time in more ways than one. We didn't get anywhere asking previously. So let's ask why they were closed. Monks and nuns living side by side cannot behave themselves. I don't blame them, though. The church shouldn't either. It's just human nature, after all. Ah, you must be Father Garneau. I'm Lorenz, Baron of... Oh boy, this Fractor font is going to give me conniptions. Yes, the Baron of Rothvogel. So wonderful to have you here again. We actually did meet on your last visit. Ah, if you say so. I'm not good with remembering faces. Please forgive me, my lord, but I wasn't expecting you for another few days. Yes, I know, but I wrote ahead. I just couldn't wait to see my manuscript. I'm sure it's no trouble. Sure, are you? Yes. I mean, no, it's no trouble. Did you want to see it now? Oh, in a moment. I could do with a bit of refreshment, though. May I grab something from the kitchen? Yes, certainly, my lord. I will meet you there. I'm trying to give this guy a little bit of a French accent, but I'm failing. Andreas, I don't know what you are doing with the Baron, but I need you in the scriptorium now. Book of Hours is a type of illuminated manuscript that contains an abbreviated form of the prayers for the divine office in addition to other religious texts. Most are relatively plain, but wealthy patrons often commission lavish examples with elaborate illustrations. So we can say, of course, Father, I'm eager to get to work. Why are you taking this out on me? He's not my problem. Or is this a bad time to ask for an advance on my payment for the Book of Hours? It is a bad time, I think, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I guess I'm just going to get to work. I'm probably pretty eager to do it. So let's do that. Of course, Father, I'm eager to get to work. Then get to work. Shit. I should have asked him about an advance for the Gertner's taxes. Maybe I could just convince Brother Matthew to pay me early. There's Brother Matthew. Spectacles. Love it. Also, I love this bird's neck. All right, so here we are. Find a way to get paid. If only I'd been a rhetorician, yeah. Ask Father Gano. Little time to explore, I think, just for the heck of it. Brother Matthew. Got some nuns, some relics. Gertrude. God bless you, Master Martyr. How goes your work in the scriptorium? I guess I don't know enough about her. So very well, thank you. Let's just be polite. Oh, then I guess you wouldn't be interested in the Saffron Agnes Steinauren. Ah, yeah. Boy, the cursive is throwing me off. In the Saffron Agnes Steinauren received yesterday. There she is. What? Saffron? Really? Where'd you hear that? Sister Matilda saw her at the Albans'. There's Sister Matilda. Maybe you can convince Prior Ferring to get some for your yellows. Good to know. How's Mousefinger? She's around here somewhere, hopefully getting to the baby rabbits before Sister Matilda does. Until later, Sister Gertrude. Bless you, Andreas. Maybe I'll see you by the shrine of St. Satya one of these days. Lisbeth? God bless you, Master Mahler. Margareta? God bless you, Brother Piero. No, wait, it's Master Mahler. I thought you couldn't see, Sister Margareta. During the day, I can see some colors. How did you know it was me? You and Brother Piero both smell the pigments you use. But you are taller, and you have another smell to you, like a fish or burnt almonds. I could say I'm almost much more handsome, which seems a little bit inappropriate. Or, oh, that's old linseed oil. Popular among the Italians, but Brother Piero doesn't use it. I'll ask Sister Gertrude about it. How are Sister Gertrude's herbs coming? It's too early to tell. Most of them won't be grown until May. Still, working with herbs suits me. Have a good day, Sister Margareta. God bless you, Master Mahler. We got a reliquary containing the hand of St. Moritz, which is said to have once held the Holy Lance. Also called the Spear of Destiny or the Lance of Longinus. It is the lance that pierced Jesus' side on the cross. Many legends surround the lance, and several places claim to possess it. And then over here, Brother Matthew maintains this shrine along with some of the sisters who paint badges for pilgrims. I guess that is an image of St. Moritz. I'm guessing we can't go into the convent, but we can maybe go to the garden. Here it is, convent garden. Ah, feverfew. It always smells so fresh. Sister Gertrude is wise to have some in the garden. Sister Gertrude, who we met. Let's see. The store must lead into the rest of the convent. Not for me. Prioress's house, which I guess we can go into. Cecilia. God bless you, Andreas. God bless you, Mother Cecilia. Is there something I can help you with? I noticed you took the sisters inside when I walked up with the Baron. What concern is it of yours? It just seemed unusual. The Baron arrived to see the abbot and the scriptorium. It isn't appropriate for the sisters to interact with men. I have a feeling I'm antagonizing her, and that she's not going to tell me very much. So I'm going to leave before I make her mad. I see. That makes sense. Thank you, Mother Cecilia. Until later. Until then. Convental aquarium. See, we've got... Tossing is lucky to have so much wound wart naturally growing. I had to buy it back in Nuremberg. And we've got the many-petaled cinquefoil. It grows so easily, some consider it a weed. Talk to Sophie. God bless you, Master Mahler. How are things going in the nun's kitchen? I mean no offense, Master Mahler, but I cannot speak with men. Ah, my apologies. God bless you. And you as well, sister. Pet Musfanger. Cute kitty. Killing mice and baby rabbits, I suppose. The sisters certainly keep their garden well tended. And Matilda. God bless you, Master Mahler. Sister Matilda, how are you doing? Mother Cecilia doesn't like us talking to men unless it's necessary to perform our work. Get our glossary for Mother Cecilia. Ah, forgive me. Sorry to bother you. Thank you, Master Mahler. This little aquarium. A painting of Hildegard of Bingen, Mother Cecilia's favorite. Saint Hildegard of Bingen was a Benedictine abbess, visionary, mystic, and prolific writer on a variety of subjects from theology to musical composition to medicine. Am I just you were just trying to tempt all these nuns. Who was doing the waggle eyebrows now? Hildegard of Bingen, feminist icon. Keeping up with the chat. Doors into the convent are locked to outsiders. Men, at least. Wee. Also has a bangin' music career under the name Hildegard von Blingen. Yeah, I've seen that around. It's good. Alright. We're done pestering nuns. We've been to the shrine. Go into the church or to the cloister. Guess let's start in the church. Why not? Just looking around, getting the lay of the land. We do actually have a map of the abbey here. So outside we have the abbot house, the guest house, the stable. That's kind of where we came up with the baron. This is where we just were. Convent is over here. Shrine to St. Moritz there. And then we've just, entered the church here instead of the cloister here. So making our way to the scriptorium in the back. Got a lot of additional people, I imagine. Sister Sophie of Birgit's quiet, dutiful Kitchener for the nuns of Kiersau Abbey, as well as Veronica Bauren, daughter of Johann and Hetty Bauer, sister of Hans, close friends with Brigitte Bauren. Sister Zdena of Tabor, I think is how that accent is supposed to make that sound. A Bohemian nun, assistant to Sister Illuminata in the library. She has a markedly impious attitude toward life at Kiersau. And we've got Johann Bauer, brother of Franz Bauer, husband of Hetty, father of Veronica and Hans. Johann is friendly with most of the families in town, but is determined to expand his farm. Linhart Lucky Steinauer, stonemason of Tassing, husband of Agnes, father of Brigitte, known for his great strength. He was the one who was yelling at Lawrence here, who we already saw and read. Got some more nuns here. Sister Margareta of, Krimmel? Assistant herbalist of Kiersau Abbey, works with Sister Gertrude, mostly blind from a failed cataract surgery. Maria Druckerin, block cutter and typecaster, wife of Klaus, mother of Berthold. Martin Bauer, son of Franz and Kat Bauer, husband of Brigitte, father of Wolf, known for his churlish youth and petty theft. Brother Matthew of Neuchâtel, Swiss sacristan of Kiersau Abbeys, responsible for maintaining the sacristy, the abbey's treasury, and for assisting Father Garneau during the Liturgy of Hours. We've also got Sister Matilda of Kempten, cellarer for the nuns of Kiersau Abbey, works often in the convent garden. And Ottilia Widow Kemperin, farmer, widow of Rannig Kemperin, lost her home after the death of her husband. Mother Cecilia of Augsburg, prioress of Kiersau Abbey and responsible for all of the abbey's nuns. Like all of Kiersau's prioresses, Cecilia was once the abbey's librarian. Agnes Steinauren, midwife of Tassing, wife of Lucky. She has one daughter, Brigitte Bauren, wife of Martin. And we've got just a couple more here. Father Garneau of Munich. All right, so he doesn't have a French accent, and I guess his name is probably Gernot, or Gernot, something like that. I will try to adjust. Librarian to administrator pipeline is a very real thing. And yeah, pointing out just the truth of things. Abbot of Kiersau Abbey, Father Gernot, replaced the former highly beloved abbot, Father Matthias. Gernot is known in the abbey as a disciplinarian and in the town as a harsh landlord. He is struggling to fund the abbey as the scriptorium no longer generates much money. Sister Gertrude of Hoff, herbalist of Kiersau Abbey. She is known for her friendly personality and her cat, Mausfanger. Funger. That A umlaut after that S is really throwing me. Mausfanger. That's closer. And Hedvig Hedy Bauren, wife of Johann Bauer, mother of Veronica and Hans. Townsfolk like Hedy, but she is known for being loud and brash and for drinking too much, which makes her louder and even more brash. Makes sense. Journal-wise, we've got a few more hours as well as the Gertner's taxes. I need to find a way to get an advance from the Abbey so I can help the Gertners pay their taxes. Father Gernot might be receptive to a negotiation for the funds. I'll need to approach the subject carefully and make it worth his while. I could speak with Brother Matthew about an early payment for my manuscripts. And then, of course, we've added some things to our background through conversation with the Baron. All right. So here we are in the church. And Rudiger here is singing. Yeah, not a creative name. Mausfanger. Let's talk to Rudiger. God bless you, Andreas. Has your voice yet recovered from Easter Mass, Rudiger? Oh, yes, it was a bit of a strain, but a worthy sacrifice. Well, if the Lord could give us his all on Easter. Exactly. Have a good day in the scriptorium. Have a good day singing. Seems like a friendly sort. At the cloister, the crypt, the tower. Goodness, there's a lot of places we could go here, and none of them are the scriptorium. Let's finish exploring the church anyway, and then we'll see. Talk to Matthew. God bless you, Andreas. How is the sacristy today, Matthew? The same as yesterday. Does my vocation seem silly to you, Master Mahler? I was just being friendly. No, I was just being friendly. Then go in peace, friend, knowing that the Abbey's treasures are secure for another day. God be with you. I guess now is as good a time as any to ask him about the money. One more thing. I have a favor to ask you. Yes, Andreas? I was hoping you could give me my pay for the latest manuscript early. I mean, that seems like the most descriptive thing here. This isn't part of the agreement you made with Father Gernot. You'll be paid on the completion of each additional manuscript you illuminate, not before. Let's see. Don't think he's going to be making an exception either way. So I only have a few pages left, Brother Matthew. I'll finish them in the next few days anyway. Then I think you can wait a few days to collect your wages. This abbey runs through mutual agreements, not haphazard payments. Breaking such contracts would cause undue trouble not only for Kyoso, but for Tassing as well. Tassing. That ah sound. Ah. Loose purse strings make my heart sing. Just so anything so. It's just so. I mean, I do kind of want to ask about this, but I don't want to ask him about this. I want to ask Father Gernot about it. I mean, I guess Matthew here seems to be an unflappable sort. Why not? Is that why Father Abbot has increased the taxes on the Gärtners? What is this about, Andreas? I would like to help the Gärtners pay their taxes to the Abbey. The Gärtners have asked me for their rent early so they can pay their taxes to the Abbey. Or I can lie about needing the money, being in debt, etc. I don't think I'm going to lie to Matthew. This seems more likely to be persuasive, I suppose. I would like to help the Gärtners pay their taxes to the Abbey. Then plead your case to Father Gernot. It's his decision. The matter is pressing, Brother Matthew. In the name of Christian charity, isn't there anything you can do? Lie and just go to confession later. Chat is wonderful this evening. Let's see. So this gives you sort of a little bit of a breakdown about how each decision was made. It doesn't look like anything was going to get me there with Brother Matthew here, but not admitting the Gärtners asked for help, has hurt my chances to persuade Matthew to pay early here. But being friendly helped. My sacred duty is giving me pause, Master Mahler. Speak to the Father Gernot. I have no problem paying you early if it is the abbot's will to do so. God bless you. So yeah, a thing that had me not having played all the way through this game despite my obvious affection for it is that, for certain character interactions, there are things that are just straight up correct and straight up incorrect, and you have to sort of use your, read on the people you're interacting with to try and figure out what is, the thing you want to say and whether it's more important to be optimal or to be expressive, which is the part of role-playing games that is cool because it's stepping into somebody else's shoes and living a little bit of their life, but also it tends to give me a fair amount of sort of second order stress and anxiety when I realize that I've done something quote unquote wrong. So part of the point of doing it on stream is to just kind of help me power through that, give me a little bit of some folks to talk to sort of hash out what I'm doing and why, and put on a show. And so far it's helping a lot. So let's just explore things in reverse order here as much as we can. So the Old Bailey here. has led us out to the area just around the scriptorium. I guess the tower and the crypt can only be gotten to from the church, so maybe that would be a thing to do first, and then we can kind of loop around. So let me go back into the church temporarily and see what we got from the tower and the crypt. Tower here has some bells that we can't really do anything with, but is cool. Back to the church. What time is it in the game, anything so's, or what time is it right now? If in the game, I think it's mid-ish morning. I'm just taking my time because I don't think it keeps track of how late I am once I'm late. The foundations of the abbey were built when the Romans occupied this land, not long after the death of Christ. These tomb markers go back centuries, all the way to the founding of the abbey. Abbot Dietrich, from the height of Kirsau's power in the 14th century. Those days have long passed. A lovely relief of the Virgin and Child. Shame it's hidden down here. There must be something else. No, that's nothing special. I don't know what you want from me. That was it. Now what? Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh, hey look. It's Prime. 6-hour work hours in the game. I did not know this was here or that could happen. And I'm just past the 2-hour mark, and so frankly, I know we're still in the preliminary stages of this, but I'm having trouble thinking of a better spot to call it for the evening, because I need to be nice to my voice. So, gonna put my little screen up here and see if I can't pipe in some more of the soundtrack as I thank everybody for stopping in for the lively chat. I hope this was interesting and entertaining, and that we'll see everybody again next I stream. I plan on doing it in a week on Friday, but I may have one in between as well if I'm really my time is free, then I'll try and maybe do a couple, because I'm excited to be getting to this game. I'm excited that folks are tuning in to watch, and thanks so much for the company and for hanging out. Always a great time. See y'all next time. Take care.